Welcome, everybody, to Poorly Edited Podcast, the show where we are all sick at home and having to Discord in to do a show. My name's Josh.
My name's Coffee Guy.
My name's Patrick Lilly.
I'm Chandler Davis, and I just realized the wrong webcam is what my video feed is using.
And guess what? I think it might be picking up audio, too.
Yeah, for sure.
No way. How about that?
Oh, wow. Ooh.
Oh,
That's
wow.
different.
Ooh. I don't know if the HD is better. I actually feel like it's
I think the problem is that you just look worse.
Yeah.
I don't think the quality is better. I think it's just you.
No, the quality. Yeah, the quality is definitely.
Oh, we're back.
You just need some warmer light on you.
Hey, what's up, guys? Well, see, if I have too much detail, you can see how sick I am.
Not COVID. Just a general
COVID.
Kind of sickness.
Yeah. So everybody, you've been used to the pandemic podcast cast of characters we've had for the last 2 weeks. However, two people aren't here.
They have
Every week it's one less person.
They have succumbed to their injuries. No, I'm actually using Lizzie's computer right now because mine's broken. And
didn't you just get that
a year ago? Yeah, less than a year.
It was a cat. Cat.
Oh, Melon making a special appearance.
Look at that.
He looks
Look at that cat.
angry.
Oh,
Yeah, he's not happy right now. He's in monster mode.
Oh, nice.
Did I curse already?
I don't know.
for sure.
I have no
Did
idea.
I just realized that the light is on the wrong side of my face, and so the side
It's
this
facing
shouldn't
me.
be dark. I just realized
That's
I did that. I'm
incredible.
sorry, guys.
I've got
When
3-point
Melon's in
lighting.
monster mode, does he go around like
Hold on.
smashing buildings, like small miniature
Is it-
buildings?
Dude, he might as well. He just goes fucking insane and he runs around, he knocks shits over, and like he does this thing where he whines to go in our bedroom and then like while we're in there, but not to see us, and he'll just jump on the windowsill and like make a lot of fucking noise, and then he'll leap onto the end table and like fucking knock everything over, and then he'll jump onto our headboard and run across it really fast, even though it's a headboard, but you can't really run across. So half the time he falls off on your face. And then he jumps on my nightstand and knocks everything over. And he just does that in a fucking circle. Like that's all he does. It's insane. He's a monster when he's not being a sweetheart.
Oh my God, Josh, you look so much more lit.
Wow, I'm a bit more lit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
Liddy. Yeah, I never want pets. That sounds
Really?
awful. What you just described.
Never?
I mean, maybe when I have, if I ever have someone to, because like they're gonna fuck things up all the time,
Yeah.
you know. And so if I don't have to clean it up, if I have somebody, to help me with that, then
If you can make
maybe.
Lizzie do it.
Yeah, basically.
Just anybody else. It doesn't have to be.
Any person.
Servant, Lizzie,
I don't like the. I don't know. I don't know if I like
Servant.
servant idea.
well-paid servant.
Well, yeah, like
We shouldn't go down this road.
No, it's bad. Just stop.
No,
It's
say
available.
it. Wait, what were you going to say, Chandler? What were you going to say?
Anyway, so yeah, Amrest is sick, but not with the coronavirus. At least we don't think so. And it's been a hoot. It's been a holler. And the pandemic's still going on. The quarantine's still happening.
It's
awful.
extended.
It's extended.
We're going even
actually.
longer now.
Whoop, whoop.
It's really
I wanna go
run
for a
its
record.
course. I think I'm very tired of it. And I want it to end more and more every week.
It's pretty
I
played
hope-
out.
Yeah, it's really
pretty
played
played
out.
out. Look,
Every
dude.
week I hope this will stop, and it doesn't, and then we're back here again, and it's awful. I wanted to address all the cursing we've been doing on these episodes because
I don't think
we've
you
gotten
have to.
some
We've gotten some fan mail.
We've got some fan mail saying they don't like the cursing.
I didn't know
I
about this.
apologize.
Really?
I apologize for the cursing if you don't like it, but also I really want to make it clear. I don't know if this comes to a shock for anyone who might know us in any different circles, but like this is how we all talk normally.
Yeah.
It's just fuck like every other word.
We don't
And that's
endorse
just how we
it.
communicate. Yeah, we don't endorse. We're not saying that's cool. You know, it's just how it's just what I grew up around.
It's just kind of
you
the
know?
meta
I
right
can
now.
stop anytime I want. It's not, it's
I
not
can
really a
turn
big
it
deal.
off.
Not an addiction.
Yeah, it's not an addiction. I can turn it off and on, but preferably, I'm gonna sprinkle some sentence enhancers in there and spice things up a little bit.
Did we actually get hate mail because of the cursing?
No,
it
was fan mail. They just had a problem with us.
Yeah, it had anthrax in it. But
Negative fan mail, right?
Fan mail.
Also, we've heard that people have really hated the last few episodes we've come out with while we're in quarantine.
We've gotten two
feeling that way for every single one for my level.
Oh, yeah.
No, we appreciate the feedback, and we'll try to do better. That's why we tried to write a script for today and didn't. And then Zach was supposed to play a song for us. He didn't.
No, I wasn't.
And we were supposed to have something planned, very well planned out for segment 3 and 4, and we didn't. So hopefully this show will go better. Mm-hmm. We have some things we're going to talk about. Also, Josh is going to leave probably halfway through this show, so it's going to be good.
But don't you worry, your health ticket is going to make it through. Don't worry.
Let's just jump
confirmation
right into
code.
Josh, you don't even look like Josh right now.
You don't.
I know, it's weird.
Josh looks like an imposter. Like
I'm
some of his doppelgangers.
Like actual Josh is tied up right off screen.
Yeah.
He's struggling. He's in the closet. Yeah.
It's right over there. Yeah.
This is fake Josh.
This is Josh's evil twin who actually has good comedic timing and doesn't interrupt people.
I don't know about that.
You think
we'll put that to the test.
Right. No, regular Josh doesn't interrupt people. Regular Josh gets interrupted by me constantly and just takes it.
Yeah, well,
I feel bad.
Regular Josh, Chandler will finish talking, then regular Josh will start talking, and then Chandler will interrupt regular Josh, and then regular Josh will be like, "Oh, I'm sorry." That's usually how it goes.
That's happened.
Regular Josh is actually Canadian. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but
good.
You're from all 3 Americas, then. Not all 3 Americas, but all 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's close enough.
I didn't like that at all. Just every section of that statement was
all right. None of it's right.
Pat, it's awesome.
All right, send your fan mail here. It'll be at the bottom of the screen.
Right,
hate mail.
Zach will put in what the address is to send the fan mail. He'll put it in.
Hate mail also gets there.
Zach's going to put it right here. Yep. He's going to put it in the middle.
Right over here. Zach will put it. There'll be a big thing on the screen.
You guys are both on the edge of my screen, pointing off my screen.
That's perfect, and I don't have to do anything. We still have that P.O. box, actually. So
we do.
Maybe I'll put that up.
Send to this P.O. box address at the bottom. Nice. So we don't have a P.O. box.
They're like, they are acting like the box like dissolved. You know what? I don't even want to talk about the P.O. box. What a fucking waste of money that was.
Yeah.
That's awful. I hate that.
By the way, it wasn't as sad as you think. It wasn't for fan mail. It was for something else. But that didn't work either.
It was to legally circumvent an issue we had.
Don't ask about it because you'll get your head bitten off.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
We've come up with a lot of unique ways to nickel and dime ourselves.
Yeah.
Sure. That's what I'm most proud of.
Just playing ourselves constantly.
It's called hustling.
Yeah.
So one thing I wanted to talk about that I thought was interesting, just so that we talk about anything even remotely of substance with any structure, is I was like talking. Well, I've been seeing a lot on Facebook and stuff, and I was talking to my cousin yesterday, and it's something I hadn't really thought of because I hadn't like talked to anybody who this was happening to. Because I was just like, oh, this is just happening to the younger kids that I don't know that are graduating high school right now who are seniors. But I realized the seniors who are seniors right now didn't get a graduation at all. And they essentially they worked really hard for 4 years. And that's seniors in high school and college. They worked really hard for 4 years. All their teachers, I don't know if you guys are in a position like I was where you constantly heard, because you were kind of an asshole. You kind of heard a lot from your guidance counselors or whatever. It's going to be worth it. You're going to want to walk, don't just totally fuck off. Give up.
Surprisingly.
Really? That's
because I low key gave up. I didn't high key give up like you do, where you draw attention to yourself.
I
just,
wasn't
like,
high
faded
giving
away.
up. They're like, look, you're fucking up. Well, because we had to mandatorily meet with our guidance counselors in high school.
Also, how big was your class? Like, how many people did your guidance counselor cover?
We had 2, so they covered half and half of the class.
big
So it
was
was
your
probably
class?
like, I want to say like 140, even though that might not be true.
Of your
It's
high
a
school?
smaller class, yeah. My high school class.
See, mine was 800, and mine had to cover like over 100 people.
That's crazy.
So I was
don't even
actively causing trouble. So I don't think they ever talked to me, except
Yeah,
for when
well.
they had to.
I remember my guidance counselor the one time was like, "You're going to fail gym if you keep not changing for swimming class." And then she was like, I was like, "I'm not doing it." And she was like, she pointed to her calendar. She's like, and counted it all out. She's like, "You literally just have to just change for swimming like 5 days for the rest of the quarter and you'll pass. Like, that's all you have to do. You can do whatever the rest of the time. Just at least do 5 and you won't fail and have to retake the class." I was like, that sounds good. Thank you so much. That's what I did. She really recommended to me that I do the bare minimum.
That's incredible.
So steadfast.
I
That's
can't
just as funny
imagine.
as you not wanting to change for swimming class.
What?
Yes.
That's just as funny as you not wanting to change for swimming
Yeah,
class.
I hated swimming class, dude. I'm not
I
a good
loved it.
swimmer.
Dude, I
I'm not
love
a good
swimming.
swimmer.
I love swimming. And the worst part is, like, the teacher would have people like demonstrate strokes if they knew what they were doing. And I swam when I was a kid, so I like knew what I was doing, knew all the strokes and stuff.
Swum.
I swam it. And
Back in the old
the
Macungie
teacher's
Lake.
like he never asked me to do anything the entire semester. And then like at the very end, he's like, "All right, can you show up? Like, you seem like you know how to do this one. You want to demonstrate?" And I did it and immediately started choking on water. I immediately fucked up. I was like coughing when I was swimming. And then at the end of it, he didn't even make eye contact with me. Like, he looked near me and he's like, "All right, thank you."
I hate
It
that.
was awful.
Your lips are blue and you're
I had hypothermia.
Lifeless.
That happened to me the one day at swimming class because the pool was so fucking cold and I had it like in
Really?
the morning. Dude, my gym teacher came over. She's like, "Dude, your lips are blue. Like, you're going to die. Like,
Hell
get
yeah.
out of the pool." Because I have no body fat, so I have nothing to keep me warm in a situation like that. Like,
Yeah, dude,
if I get stranded in the Arctic, I'm dead. Like, I'm dead immediately. I'm not even gonna attempt. You know
I'm
what
probably
I mean?
gonna run at a polar bear just so they put me out of my misery. And then at least I know someone can eat well that night.
I really don't want to die like that.
I don't
Like
either,
getting
but
mauled
it's
to death.
mauled to death is slightly above freezing to death, I think.
I don't know, man. I have no idea.
Let's try it.
I feel like freezing to death, you'll go into shock and die, and then like that'll be less painful.
Yeah, think how long it'll take.
It's
Not
true.
that long.
Plus,
Eventually you'll
the,
feel
all right,
warm and then you go to
look,
bed.
there is
Yeah.
the odd chance
Is
that the
that a
polar bear
Grey
will take
reference?
me in. Is it?
It is.
I don't-
Liam
I-
Neeson's character tells everyone who dies in the gray
Wow.
every time. He's like, it'll, and then at the end. And has anyone seen that movie?
No.
That's a really good movie.
I've heard
If you
it
like
is.
CG wolves mauling people and Liam Neeson just being Liam Neeson,
Isn't that newer?
it
The
was.
past couple years?
Nah,
Yeah.
like 2012 maybe.
Oh,
Yeah, I saw it in theaters. Yeah, it's not that new. I want the exposure to be better. Hello, I'm sorry. But yeah, no, I just thought it was insane. Like, I couldn't imagine, and a lot of my friends, I didn't realize a lot of my friends from high school are
Actually
graduating
froze to
with their,
death. Oh.
but they froze to death in the Arctic in the gray as extras. No, they're just graduating with their bachelors right now from university, and I can't imagine like spending all that money and working all that time and telling yourself that it'll be worth it, you know, because you'll get to walk and it'll be sick. And I admit, like, walking in graduation, Josh, I'm sure you know,
Because I just walked. I mean,
because you just walked. It is actually pretty chill. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. It is a good time. It's a good night. And to not get that at the end of all of that work is that's so awful. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't imagine getting like shafted that hard.
Plus, think about all the sweet parties they're gonna miss out on because they can't go out.
Oh yeah, like I think my cousin said she was gonna go to like the beach or something for senior week or whatever, and she's like, I just can't do that now. And it's like,
Sucks.
That sucks, dude. It really sucks. That's crazy. I'm so glad I graduated already.
Oops.
It's so PM. Holy shit.
I'm just kidding.
Holy
I'm just
fuck.
kidding. No, I just feel like they should, and even prom and stuff. Like a lot of these kids aren't even getting prom. Like, what an awful night to not remember. You know, I'm sure everyone had a really great time at prom. You were either like didn't have a date that liked you,
Nice,
or you were peer pressured into doing something you didn't want to. And I feel like that's the only two ways prom probably went for most people.
I had a pretty good time.
Really?
Surprisingly, against all odds, I had a pretty good time.
That's where Pat peaked.
Yeah.
Who'd you take to prom, Pat?
I had a date, Fiona.
I didn't know. Did you guys go to high school together?
I didn't know you guys were dating.
No, I didn't know that.
It's a bit cringe dating girls in high school.
I'm over
At all.
Zach, did you take Sam to prom?
I didn't know her in high school.
Well,
We went to high school together, but I didn't. We never.
Who'd you take to prom?
Me and a bunch of friends rented a cabin that weekend, and
that
we
sounds
did
way
not
better.
go.
Did you land? Were you landing
I-
like Civ
landing?
3?
Huh?
Were you landing like Civ 3?
What?
How old do you think Zach is? He graduated
Back in like 1997. It was prom.
He's like, wow, dude. He was like,
I've never seen that.
No, I don't get it. I don't get the joke.
Old.
That's a joke.
Okay.
That's it.
Old.
No,
I'll take old for 200.
Oh, no. Fuck.
No, we lost.
Someone picked up the phone.
He went to the
apartment.
editing den, editing this podcast.
No, it's dial-up.
As it's being recorded.
Can you imagine live editing like an actual movie set, like
No.
this show, live editing? You're like
I
live
would.
editing. That'd be amazing.
Would you, Zach? Would you prefer to do it that way?
sure.
Let's make it happen.
See, that's just more work for me then. That's just like I have to figure that out.
Give me a TriCaster, dude. I would love that. That'd be great.
That would actually be pretty cool, and we
sick.
thought about that, but that's a whole other.
We've thought about that, but that's a large money investment for
a lot
diminishing
of money.
returns.
Well, now that the P.O. Box fund opened up, we might be able to swing it.
Save that $26 a month for a TriCaster.
Let's do a bad unboxing series like iDubbbz, where we encourage people to send us bad things.
Oh,
Except
please, that'd be awesome.
There are things that will hurt us, not like gags. Like it'll be like anthrax
Right, yeah.
and like
Just anthrax.
arsenic. Yeah, just tons of anthrax LPs that people send through the mail.
Holy shit.
It's like Fear Factor, but it's unboxing.
It's our second anthrax joke of the
I know,
podcast.
dude.
Is it?
Hey, we're churning them out, man.
Oh my God.
No, this sucks, dude. Have you ever
We're chumming them out.
Have you ever just wanted to phone it in?
just wanted to give up on everything?
Dude, I have to leave in 15 minutes.
Yeah,
That's fine.
That's most of the show.
we're blazers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you down for some TF2 tonight, Josh?
Oh, of course. Are you kidding?
This is permeating every mode of communication we have. It doesn't matter where it is. Zach's gonna be like, I'm free later if you want to play.
You can't say no.
Dude, I know. That's the thing. Can we just take a second to recognize? I just want to bring light to the fact that every conversation I've had with Zach for the past 3 weeks has either begun or ended with him asking if I want to play TF2 with him.
Oh my God.
Every single one, and it's always creative and it always makes me laugh. Dude, Zach, I love
and then
this.
You guys get on Longwood Gardens, whatever the name of that map is. And then you sit on a rooftop building sentries for 3 hours.
It's landfall.
And I'm sorry.
No, it's Longwood Gardens.
We've only done it twice. It only worked that one time.
Oh, so
I
funny.
mean, it only worked.
I I never thought I'd see the day that Zach played video games with us, but then it would be TF2, which not to my luck, unfortunately.
You have to meet Zach halfway. Like, he's finally playing games with us, but you got to do it on his terms.
If you buy me Modern Warfare, I'll play it.
It's free.
It's free, so it never needed to be.
Get fucked, idiot.
What happened?
I guess I better come up with a different excuse. Is it always free? Is it just free now?
It's free.
The Battle Royale is always free.
Yeah.
Oh. I guess that's like to compete with Apex.
Yeah, to compete with everything else that isn't Call of Duty.
Except PUBG, I think.
No one cares about competing with PUBG. That's not even in the running.
Right. It's Warzone.
It's fun. I think it's the best battle royale there is, in my opinion. At least for what I like. You know, I don't like losing to someone who built a log cabin faster than me. You know, like in Fortnite or something. I like winning gunfights and just like, you know.
Let's get Mitchell Fenn in here.
Yeah, let's get Mitchell in here, dude. Our old resident Fortnite player. We pretty much brought Mitchell on to play Fortnite. You guys realize that?
Yeah.
Mitchell Fenn. Shout out to Mitchell Fenn, who was briefly in Left 12 when we first started. He's amazing. But yeah, he was really good at Fortnite.
Doing well on Twitch, apparently?
What?
He's doing well on Twitch, apparently, right?
He's doing well on Twitch. Yeah, no. It's awesome. Shout out to him. Well, maybe we'll put a link to someone. Please remember to put a link to his Twitch in the description. But yeah, I know. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. But yeah, we pretty much brought him on just to play Fortnite. That wasn't the plan, but that was what ended up happening for some reason. And that's
look, he killed.
That's a pretty based job description.
He got many a victory royale.
Many a victory royale. We still have some old montages of his on the
yes, we do,
like highlight reels
interspersed with me fucking up.
Yeah, interspersed with that, like killing one person and then dying,
falling off a cliff in Dark Souls.
Yep, I did that a lot.
Yeah.
Remember, Zach, that one time that you came in the stream and I was just jumping through windows in PUBG and then I just got gunned down by some dude? Yeah, scared me.
I do remember that.
That's my favorite experience.
That's awesome. I haven't been streaming, unfortunately, lately because my laptop, the fan on my GPU has pretty much killed itself, and it sounds like a transformer is dying inside of my laptop.
Between transformations, and something's broken, and he can't commit.
Like when Bumblebee got like shot in the face or something in like Transformers 7.
What about
I'm sure that happened.
What about the great line that one dude says to Megatron, where he's like, "You want a piece of me?" And then Megatron's like, "No, I want two." And then he rips him in half.
Jazz.
Yeah.
He rips Jazz in half. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty rad.
It's awful.
Jazz was like,
and you're like
already a shorter Transformer in stature, and then he goes up against Megatron like that. It was that's some Napoleon complex stuff.
Welcome to the Jazz Memorial Podcast.
I think he was a Porsche.
This movie.
Dude, Transformers 1 was actually good. I don't care what anybody says. I don't
even remember it.
Wait, the first one? The first one? Oh, yeah, the first one's great.
I enjoyed it, yeah.
The first one was actually like a good representation of the media that it came from and actually a fun movie to watch. But then like every single movie after that was just the same movie, just diluted a little bit.
Transformers 1 wouldn't have happened without eBay. That's the crux of the plot, pretty much.
So funny.
Or Michael Bay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Or Michael Bay.
eBay is actually Michael Bay's other side project.
That ages that movie so beautifully.
Oh, yeah, it really does. Also, Shia LaBeouf is just a gem.
Does it? eBay is still a viable.
Yeah, but that was like the thing at the time.
Yes. Yeah, now it'd be Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
If that movie came out now.
Dude, my dad keeps trying to get me to put one of his cars on Facebook Marketplace. That's the suspension's just broken on it. And I'm like, Dad, no one's going to buy a car with no suspension during a fucking pandemic and try and fix it up. That's not going to be anyone's passion project.
Hey, Pat. You'd be surprised, all right?
I hope so.
Yeah, be thinking
something your dad would do, honestly.
Be thinking like a businessman, all right? That's an opportunity. A car with no suspension?
I don't think so.
I see opportunity.
He also, when he approached me the first time, he was like, "How many pictures can you put up?" And I'm like, "I don't think there's a limit." And he's like, If it was just one, he had a plan.
My God.
He had this whole planned out where he's like, if it's just one, I'm just going to do the outside of the car. But if it's like three, I'm going to have the outside and the inside at these angles. What are you
my God.
That's more
He's
thought
trying to be like as economic as possible. That's what did you just say? I think you said.
Yeah, that's more thought than we put into our photo shoots.
I can't say anything bad about your dad because he didn't shoot me when I broke into your house.
That's true.
So
Out of context. It's heavily out of context.
I think we leave it out of context. I've got nothing to say about that.
Everyone breaks into the Lilly household regularly. That's pretty much
Rite of passage.
Yeah. I have only one other thing written on the outline. I don't even know if that's worth getting into at this rate, at the rate we've been going here. I mean, I think that's...
What is it, though?
It's just about people don't like what I've noticed, I guess, from the feedback we've gotten recently. People don't like us very much. They don't really like when we talk about us. Like, they don't like us as people, So when we talk about our personal experiences and stuff like that, they hate it. They hate us.
True, yeah. That's what I've noticed as well.
So word for word. And so what I've thought to do is maybe, try to have a little more of an objective kind of, like the criticism thing, I think was a pretty good bit from the last show.
Didn't mean any
how that turned out. Didn't mean a word, but it played it up for the cameras. No, but I was watching Kurtzakat came out with a video yesterday or like a few days ago, and they don't usually do like a lot of like self-help stuff because it's kind of cringe. They're a science channel, but they'll release a video every so often that is scientifically related to like mental health, mental emotional health, like whatever, which are usually pretty cool. And they just came out with one that was literally like essentially the tone was like, in modern society right now, why are so many people like unhappy? Does it have to do with their outlook? Like why does it seem like some people are able to view situations or their situation more positively than others? Like what is that trait that determines that in them, scientifically? From an objective standpoint, is that a quantifiable thing, essentially? And the conclusion that they reached is that essentially like there's a few different factors based on like personality and like genes and everything like that, but a lot of people there's the one factor that ties them all together is the amount of, how they describe it, like gratitude they have. So like how gracious they feel towards their situation or other people or their circumstances or anything like that. And the more you feel gratitude towards those factors in your life leads to the more happy you feel about how things are and your ability to, cope with those things. Because if you're looking at everything like negatively, and you're only picking out the bad things, then obviously you're going to have a more negative outlook. You're going to be unhappier. But if you're thinking about the reasons you should be grateful, the things you should be grateful for, and you're thinking in those terms, it's a lot easier to feel better about what's going on. You know what I mean? And I realized that after watching that video, I realized that was something that I might have I think everyone contextualizes that concept a little differently. But that's something that I found that I do a lot, like in my day to day. Like I even go back as far, like I go really far back sometimes. Like sometimes I'm like, I'm just grateful that like I grew up with like a parent that, wanted to raise me. You know what I mean? Like I'm grateful that I grew up in the area I did. Like I'm grateful, you know what I mean? Like just I think when you think of it in those terms, it's the list can go on and on and on about like, if you think of the sheer probability that you're even on Earth in general, like
Born in this time.
Yeah, and Born in This Time, like statistically how astronomical those possibilities are. Like you have a lot of factors to, I think to be grateful about. So I thought it was just a really interesting, if anyone hasn't seen it, you should watch it. Maybe we'll leave a link in the description. But just a really interesting way. I like when stuff like that is put in like more scientifically quantifiable terms, where it's like a lot of people, there's a lot of like self-help gurus and shit like that, on the internet. And like anybody can sit there and say like, oh, you should have a more positive outlook. You should do, whatever, these generalities about how people should be living their life or what their mindset should be. But it's different when you hear like, I like the tone they take where it's like, hey, this isn't a cure-all. This isn't like going to cure depression to have this outlook, but here's some exercises you could do. Here's some things you could do. That's like genuinely trying to impart some level of information, to help people, not just preying upon people's depression or insecurities to get them to buy your book or get them to buy your Skillshare class.
My new tonic, my elixir.
Yeah.
My snake oil.
Snake oil.
I was just gonna say snake oil. Wow,
Nice job on the
Great
snake oil,
minds.
guys.
That's us, Slab 212, the snake oil guys.
I think a lot about
There's actually-
that stuff is like expectations and like context.
mm-hmm.
I think like a lot of the times I've been disappointed with stuff. It's usually because I also hype myself up to the point of disappointment. Even like I just bought a drum set, which is going awful, and I'm like, for some reason I'm always really impatient with shipping. And whenever like it was supposed to come on Friday, and I was like work all day, and I came home and I'm like, it's not here. And then for a second I was like really bummed out, and I'm like, well, it doesn't actually matter. Like, I can just do whatever I want tonight still anyway, and then it'll be here tomorrow, and nothing really changed.
Right.
It's like you can like recontextualize once something disappoints. You realize a lot of the time that it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I don't get disappointed often, but that would be helpful if I did it. If I like was better at that, I think.
It's also like when something. I'm sorry.
Nah, you're good.
When something bad happens, you can let it last as long as you let it. Pretty much.
Yes.
Like you can stop being sad about something. I mean, relative to what it is, pretty quickly. You like if one bad thing happens to you during a day, it doesn't have to ruin the entire day. You can quickly move on and focus on the other stuff that happened that day. That's good.
Dude, I can't agree more with that. Honestly, it's like even like one thing that I've learned just like over the past couple of years is how fickle just human beings can be when it comes to like even just their day-to-day mood, and like within a day how mood swings can happen, and like external influences can just like ruin everything, quote unquote. But what you said with like I think can ruin your mood if you let it, or like a bad thing can be bad and mess you up only for as long as you let it. And again, within reason, because like sometimes like horrible stuff happens and you really have to take time to work through that. But for the most part, a lot of what we deal with are just like little nicks at our self-esteem, or like little nicks at our psyche, and like just like little minor things that take us down slowly and over time. But one thing that I've learned is just like a certain amount of honesty, and being able to be honest with yourself and others can really go a long way to getting over something like that faster. Like if it's like a disagreement or an argument with a family member, or getting torn down in a group chat or something, just depending on what. Woo! Full circle. All right, but no, like all that aside, like
dog piled in the
just
group
getting
chat,
dog piled, just getting reamed,
group chat,
just getting reamed in our Lab 212
I'm
group
still
chat.
Team
No,
Josh. I'm still on
Comes
Josh's
from
side.
Brazil anyway.
Hashtag Team Josh. Put a link in the description, Zach.
Does it do that?
That's like the
I do
fifth
that.
thing I have to remember to add. This is bullshit.
It's awful. Dude, this episode is so hard. I'm sorry. No, but like going back to it, like that aside, like just anything for anybody. One thing that I've learned to practice is is to quantify what the actual thing that made me feel bad is and be honest with myself about it, which is basically what you said, Pat. But if you can manage to do that consistently and soon after it makes you feel bad or sad or whatever, not only can you isolate what that thing is and quantify it, but you can also figure out how to get over it faster. And I think it all comes back just to honesty, and you're able to be honest with the person that maybe did it so that they can be like, oh, I didn't mean it that way. And you can reach a resolution, or you can be honest with yourself and reach a resolution internally. I found that letting it fester is the worst thing you can do, and just being honest about what it actually is and how it's affecting you is like the best way to deal with it. And I think that as you practice that, it's like a muscle. You get better at it, and then you're able to apply that pretty much anywhere in your life so that you can move forward, because that's the goal, is to get past it, to move forward and keep going. So
the only thing that doesn't apply to you is when you have earbuds in and they get caught in a doorknob and they get ripped out, then all anger is justified.
Right.
You can't,
exactly.
If you stay cool during that situation, you're a sociopath.
Yeah.
It's like stubbing your toe.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah, whenever that happens, it makes me want to like go find the carpenter that made.
Like you're like, who's responsible for this?
Yeah.
And it's like,
There's nobody. There's nobody who did this.
Yeah.
Like those are the situations I hate the most, is where I can't direct my anger at someone who's living.
Or when it's my fault, then I have to find someone to deflect to. Like, what the hell? Why do I have to do that?
When you were in school, were you ever like, and maybe you were younger, but were you ever like, man, I'm gonna find the person who invented homework? You know, like, were you ever like, who, like?
No, I just didn't do it.
There's a singular man who like woke up one day and he's like, I have a great idea. They'll do it not at school.
Charles J. Housework.
Charles J. Homework.
It was Charles J. Housework, and then later on it got changed to Homework.
I think he remarried. Yeah. He was actually Korean picture bride. I don't know if you guys know that.
What the fuck?
But yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting concept, like the idea of their suggestion was that you sit down for like 5 minutes every day and you write down the things you're grateful for, you know, to be having that muscle of keeping all of that in check. You know what I mean? And whenever I get like really pissed off or I'm upset or whatever, I try to like think like that as well. It's like, well, the insurmountable amount of other bad things that could have happened, you know, instead of my situation right now, like things are actually pretty okay, you know. And also, go on.
A lot of the time, what you're mad about is like compounded on something that's pretty cool to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can't think of an example of that at all right now, but
what?
I don't know.
Well, it's like your drum kit, right? Like you were really excited about it, and then it messed up, and so it's like,
yeah, it's like you're in the position where you're in a position where you can have a drum set.
Yeah,
right.
You have the money, you have the space, you have the time, you have all these different things, and then you're like, oh, it's not here quick enough, and it's like,
it's not here in 2 days.
Yeah,
so
it's
I'm
like
pissed.
Yeah, now the whole thing's fucked.
Yeah, no, I'm never gonna be good at drums then. Dave Grohl's gonna be sad.
That was actually kind of an example they gave, is like, you know, people they'll go from like, oh, once I get this thing or get to this point in my career, or like get this promotion or whatever, or hit this milestone, then I'll be happy. And then they'll get to that and they aren't happy. They'll be like, oh, well, once I get to this thing, then I'll be happy. And when I get to, you know, they just go through life like that. And part of that is that lack of being able to be like, wait, I'm really grateful I got to that milestone. Like, that's important. Like, it's okay, you know, and like, that's really sick. Not constantly being like, chasing that dragon, you know, all the time.
People do that with money a lot. That happens with money a lot. It's like this idea of like, because it's so inherently simple and it's just like it's like value or whatever, and it's quantifiable, it's numeric. People are like, well, if I just had this much, I could do this and I'd be happy. But then they reach that and they're like, well, you know, like, how about this? And that's why I feel like there's so many people in our society that are so just bent on trying to advance as much as possible because it just means a higher dollar value. And they equate that to being happy when really, like you said, they're not taking the time to be grateful for where they are.
Yeah.
That's all I got, guys.
I gotta cut that.
We're getting hate mail for that one.
On my screen, like for all intents and purposes, Zach does not know where we are all located, but he's perfectly in the corner looking down at everybody on my screen.
That's actually perfect for mine too. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
incredible.
And like Josh,
perfect for mine too. That's crazy.
Josh is over on this side, and his eye line looks over to Pat and everybody else. Yeah, it's just really good. Yeah,
Can't wait to see what it looks like.
Oh, yeah, that's the right way.
No, Pat's looking off my screen. All right. Anyway. All right. Yeah, I don't know. Right now, I'm just trying to, speaking of the grateful.
So anyway, I'm mad.
I'm pissed and upset. No, it's just like, I will admit that recently I've kind of been like, with my laptop breaking, I can't even sit and type in a Word document without me like getting just seething with anger listening to my broken fan, which is also overheating my computer doing nothing. And I'm stuck in my house and there's a fucking deadly virus and fucking, like there are all these different things like compounding. And so I'm trying to like find something, every time there's a mishap, it's like, okay, well, how can I make this work and still, do cool things and like be, okay. And it just keeps getting harder and harder though, like as the months have gone. But I just wrote, I'm forced to write a little more because it's the only thing I can do right now. So I'm trying to write a bunch of different stuff. I actually have a video I'm going to try to do that I'm very excited about. And I just wrote a script for something that we're going to work on, hopefully, when this is over. Did you guys read that, by the way?
Yeah, I did.
I have not had the chance yet, but it looks interesting.
It's kind of cringe. It's not that good. I'm concerned with how I'm going to pull it off. I don't know how I'm going to cast or crew it yet. That's more of my concern at the moment. But
I think you could probably film that with 2 people.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I just want to make sure that, whoever acts it has to be able to do it. Yeah, and I want to make sure someone is directing still, and all that, and having good audio as well.
Isn't it? Doesn't it? Okay, I don't know if I can out this, but the script takes place in a radio station with a dude speaking into a microphone at a radio station. So I think his audio should be all right, probably.
It's pretty cringe.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, well, he's gone.
All right. Thanks guys for tuning back in.
He's overboard.
I'm back.
Chandler just threw up.
Yeah, I did. Well, I'm hungover because all I do is binge drink every night of quarantine because I have a drinking problem. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I'm excited for the script. I usually don't write a lot. I'm not that confident as a writer. I like writing. I like doing like creative writing. I never thought I'm very good at script writing, like for screenplays. So maybe I'll try to write more of that and flex that muscle a little bit. Like I'm kind of just excited just on the merit of taking something from writing the screenplay to then executing it and doing that as opposed to just writing a screenplay. Because I feel like you only really know how good of a screenplay it was after you've shot it. You know what I mean? To know like how solid it really was as the blueprint for, whatever you were filming. You know what I mean?
How well it transfers to screen, essentially.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I was writing it on a fucking paper, which I haven't done since I felt like it was in college.
Can you crinkle that again to the mic?
Yeah, here.
Oh, I
There it
love it.
is.
I just say I love
There it is.
paper.
Isn't my
Cue.
handwriting awful?
Oh, it's incredible, dude.
Silent in anticipation.
You can read that?
Cringe,
Yeah,
cringe,
I could.
cringe. Bill.
Cringe. It's actually
Fail.
a Lemon fanfic, Sonic Lemon fanfic.
I'm starring Dan's Sonic OC.
Dan Sonic OC. This is such a not palatable episode.
It's true.
Fail.
If we just
You said you had an idea ready though, but Zach, you're going to make one, right?
I don't know.
Please.
Aren't we out of time?
no, we've got 15 more minutes, Zach.
I have to leave in like now or in 5 minutes at the latest.
Okay, God. Okay.
All right, God.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh no, okay, I'm so sorry. I left it on. My bad.
Oh,
Josh,
Can
you're
you
gonna
not
make one,
hear
right?
it when you do that?
What?
Can you not hear it when you do that?
No, I can do hear my voice, but then listen to this. Check this out. So I can hear myself. Oh wait, no, I can't hear myself. What's going on? Okay, well that was
You're stalling. You're stalling.
that was awkward. I can't.
Josh,
actually
you're gonna make a short, right?
Yes, I am. I'm going to be honest. I didn't really have a whole lot of time to read over every aspect of what the plan was, but the stuff that I read and
Make a band post about it just to be more clear.
that'd be nice too. That'd be nice. I mean, I'm not saying you have to, but all I have to say, the stuff that I did read, like the stuff that I heart reacted and stuff, on board completely. I love that idea. So I'm definitely going to make something. I've been actually, I was already working on something kind of, and I have some footage for it, and I have like a it's not really like a shot list. It's just concepts that I want to capture dynamically on camera to kind of from my perspective show what's going on. But your idea, like, it just works so well with that I think the stuff that I've shot already, as well as the other stuff I wanted to shoot, I think it could be my sort of vignette, for lack of a better word. And so I think that anyway, all I had to say, I was very on board with it, and I like the idea a lot, and I'm excited.
And Zach's gonna make one because he's a competent filmmaker, and I want to see him make something like that.
Well, there's a discussion.
No, you are. You're fucking fuck off.
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you, dude. And Pat, you said you already had an idea. You were already.
Yeah.
Did you start writing yet?
No,
That sucks, man.
not yet.
I'm sorry.
We'll get there.
I mean,
I
the
went from,
the one you sent was like, I don't know. The one you sent made sense, but it was like 9 shots of a guy exhaling on a beach, and then one other shot.
Yeah, I'm not saying that was the best example. I was just saying an example.
But I was like, I can do that.
yeah.
So I haven't gotten to writing anything yet, but I generally know what I want it to be, and I'm excited.
It's hard when like sitting down to write. I've found that it's so much easier if you just like sitting there with like the blank page and just sitting back and like waiting to like think of something isn't great. I feel like actively trying to write through something is a better process, even if you're like the word vomit stage. Like even if you're not writing something that is very solid or that you think is even on the right track or even a track at all, it might be totally fucking all over the place in terms of the logic of it and where it's going. But it like gets you in because that was what I did. I wrote a whole different thing before I started writing that one that I sent you guys. And that one made no sense. And it was just kind of like roughly describing like feelings or like ideas or whatever. And like just a bunch of meandering concepts. And as I'm like writing that, I start to arrive at a different place. And I'm like, oh, I like that a lot. And then I went to another page and I started like doing this whole other idea.
Did the one that you sent, did that have anything to do with the conversation we had like years ago about?
Yeah, for sure.
It did? Okay.
Yeah, like loosely based. Like I was thinking about, I kind of arrived at like the theme of that script, and then I realized I could even tie it in with and use what that conversation as the backdrop.
I don't know why we're being so
of it all.
vague.
Well, I don't know, because it sounds cringe if
Basically, the premise of the short is what song would you play for the end of the world?
Speaking of cringe,
Josh,
I have to go.
Fuck you, Josh.
I'm so sorry.
Fired.
But I'm excited. Hey, it's about time. I'm excited
Josh out.
for yeah, play me out, please. I'm excited for future projects and creations that we just talked about, as well as other things.
Oh, I wish you were here for when I was about to say the other thing I was writing. That sucks.
That's okay.
I'll tell you later. It's fine.
That's aggressive.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
It was a little bit for sure.
Yeah, no, that's fine, man.
It's like, oh, you're
I'll be
leaving.
around.
I was about to talk
Oh,
to
you're
you
leaving.
directly. Oh, okay.
Oh, this thing that pertains exactly to you. Now you
that's great.
talking about me.
I'll text you. Are you gonna have your phone?
Oh yeah, text me, bro. I got you.
All right. Well, I'll probably just text the group chat, but yeah, I don't know. It was like, I really like the idea, when it comes to writing of trying.
Josh missed his window. Josh missed his window.
Yeah,
oh no!
Missed his window.
Oh no, guys!
It's cringe. Oh, God, don't do it.
Check out TSWM3 every week.
Oh no! Stop. I'm moving him.
Man.
Move him. Oh,
I heard Bart from Mom Jeans talk about martyrs on their podcast, the Bart and Tyler Save Rock and Roll podcast.
They have a podcast?
I've told you about this, and you said you want to listen to it.
What's the point of us doing a podcast if cooler people have podcasts? Do you guys want to see unbox my new cooling pad?
Yeah, let's break it.
I don't know why I'm in this call.
Here, Lizzie, you talk about your movie.
Oh, Zach's gone.
Wait, let me get him back in here. Hey, Zach, if something happened, you got disconnected.
Yeah, what was that?
That was weird.
That was wild.
Oh, it's a finger.
Now plunge it into it. With
They get this bitch all the way there, and she sees what happens after you die. She whispers it into this lady's ear, and she's about to tell everyone, and then she's like, you know what? It really sucks, so I'm gonna kill myself. And then she kills herself, and then
how does that make sense?
Because she's so scared.
But then she just goes towards it?
Well, it's either that or living in fear of how you die.
Yeah, but wouldn't she want to not be doing it as opposed to doing it?
I don't know.
Money shot.
Maybe it was so great that she couldn't wait to get there.
All right, so
they don't elaborate then?
No, they don't elaborate.
That's weird. So it's
Chandler,
left to
you
interpretation.
fucking told me to do this. You're a baby.
Yeah, we have coconuts too.
Oh,
actually,
shit. That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Is there like the staff thing you used to get around, right? To get over rivers?
To get over rivers,
That's pretty cool. Did you like terraform yet? I've seen some terraforming.
But
fun at parties. So I'm going to be reviewing today the Thermal Take. Massive 14 squared is genuinely what this is called for some reason.
That's a big number.
It's a notebook cooler with cooling power squared. I wish I was making up the squared meme. I don't know if the camera can see that. It's set. Did you see there?
Yeah, I see it.
Squared. I don't know why that's the thing. All right, so we're going to be taking it out of its protective plastic. There we go.
Ooh, that's pretty appealing.
Ooh.
Why does it look like a VHS?
Great question. Haven't. I don't know. Yeah, let's see. Dual 140 millimeter LED fans with adjustable speed knob. So at some point, there's going to be some customization that we're going to be able to get into with fan speed and stuff like that. Power switch for both LED and fan. That's pretty cool. It's going to be blue, which is not the color of my PC, which is going to be cool.
Match nicely.
Hexagon shaped mesh for maximum airflow. I don't think hexagon.
Look, no science is spoken. Hexagons are maximum airflow.
All right. Ergonomic design for more comfortable typing angle. I don't know what that means. Supports notebooks up to 17-inch, and I did not measure mine. So
it's a shame because you have a laptop.
I had to use 100% of my power.
If you just want to think about life.
You know what that means, Chandler.
I don't have a sip, so that'd be pretty fucked up if you sip check me before dinner.
Sip check.
You. Zach, do you want this so that you can pass the sip check here?
Yeah, sure.
There you go.
Dude, what if he actually had Pepsi?
Dude, I mean,
How fucking crazy would that be?
Can I have it?
Oh, he turned into water.
Is that Jesus?
Here you go, Chad. You can have it back. I'm done with it now.
Zach's lame Jesus. Like, Jesus
Thanks,
was party Jesus when he could turn shit into wine.
Yeah.
Zach just turns everything into water, and he's like, you gotta stay hydrated, man. 8 cups a day.
He turns everything into rum and coke
He's like, looks like you guys have had enough.
and tequila shots.
Let me see those Sam Adams real quick. I'll make you hydrated. Oh, yeah. You want to cut towards your hand.
You always want to cut up towards.
In jerking, and you're not really sure how much strength you need, so you're just giving it max.
In a jerking motion. This is my favorite part of the packaging, though, before we get on to the main course
This is gonna
of
sound
the
awful.
meal. I do like this because you can do this.
What's in there? It's like butter.
You see that? Yeah, it's very satisfying.
Incredible.
Some people like popping the bubble wrap, you know? I like stabbing the bubble wrap,
Popping's pretty
Alright.
played out.
Oh,
and then you can sync the
Good
audio
hero.
with that. Do you need one more to sync the audio?
Yeah, one more.
Yeah.
I gotta clap at the same time.
Oh,
No, do it
stop
again.
it.
Right in my
I have to clap when you're doing it, so give me a countdown.
5,
Stop it.
4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There we go. That was good.
And
I'm
you
checking the
sync it to
waveform.
that.
We got it.
Cool all your life.
Like-
So notebook
You
cooler.
didn't do what I said. It's not gonna write. You have to press down.
I'm gonna
No, push it. Okay, you don't.
push what down?
Did you want tires? Want tires? How many?
What?
All right, I have 2.
As you can see here,
You
we have
don't care about
notebook
me.
cooler
Squared.
squared thermal take
Squared.
Cool all your life
Squared.
squared
Do one next to the
Dual.
the thing itself, too.
squared.
Next to the picture.
Oh,
Yeah. Squared.
squared.
Yeah, 2 of them now.
Squared. Yeah, I just put 2 inside of it now. Thermal, just for the camera to see.
Yeah.
Says you can
There
see
it
I
is. Wow,
squared
look at that.
whatever wasn't
This thing's
already.
getting more powerful by the second.
Yeah, it's exponential. Exponential power. Thank you so much for that, Lizzie. Thank you for that. All right, so we're gonna do the money shot, the second money shot that we get.
Okay.
We're gonna check this out. Ooh. this thing
It's
is
like you're copying something.
Yeah, it's like another. I broke the box immediately. I ripped it, so that's good. We're gonna take it out of the pizza box it came in. This thing's actually really lightweight, to be honest. I was not expecting it to be this lightweight. I also wasn't expecting it. I'll be honest with you. I paid $30 for this, so like at a certain point, if the quality isn't up to par, I won't be that shocked. But so I don't know if you can get a look at this.
There's a lot of glare going on. I get it, though.
Oh, yeah. So right off the bat, the smell is a big con for this cooling pad. Usually you want your cooling pad to be scented and be blowing scented air right up in as you're playing. This does not have that. So this is a scentless cooling pad for a laptop.
Need some air fresheners, like car air fresheners. Some
Yeah,
black ice.
yeah. What you could do is you could attach one of the black ice air fresheners to the grate.
Or you could do it inside the fan so it keeps spinning around, getting that scent out there.
It's just hitting off of everything. You could do it that way.
Sounds awful.
There's another USB port, and I'm not sure why there's a second one. Can I charge my phone off this?
Maybe they're mono.
Famous Epic, the Lilly Epic fan speed knob, adjusting knob. So it is there. It is real. The first con.
Wait. I think I figured out the second USB port. So plug the first one in.
Uh-huh.
Then plug that end into the second one.
So you're saying it's self-powered?
Yeah, I think it's self-powered. What's that fan speed like? Oh, they're
Fan
spinning.
speed's pretty good. I just knocked shit over on my desktop. That's pretty good. Is this?
Oh shit!
Yo, dude. See, my only thing though is I can stick my little fingers through the
Don't
vents back
do
here,
that.
and it'll hurt me.
How much can you fit in your mouth? Is really my question.
Of the whole pad?
Yeah.
How many fingers? Oh, never mind.
How deep could you get?
I can't wait for this to not help at all for my laptop cooling issue.
Let's try it. Let's get some results on stream.
Let's try it. But I am going to be honest with you. It's a lot of cool air blowing right into the vents that aren't present where the fans are placed on this pad.
Mm-hmm.
The vents of my laptop,
Yeah.
not there.
No.
Not where those fans are blowing.
That's good.
This is going to keep it cool. The other fans, they don't have to worry.
Those are hot fans. You don't want those.
Those are hot. Those are the hot fans that were blowing. They installed the hot fans. Now we don't need them. We can just use the cool fans.
I got a hot fan. See, this is a hot fan. This heated my room. That's a hot fan. You don't want that. You want a cool fan. This is what they put in his computer by mistake.
That whole thing is in my laptop.
There's two of them too.
So that was a great review, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I have to put my dagger away.
What makes it a dagger and not a knife? What makes it a dagger and not a knife?
It's just small. You see how small it is?
That's fucking small.
Like you'd call that a dagger.
Is that
You wouldn't
snake
look at
skin?
this and be like, "Oh, that's a what?"
That's snake skin. What is
You
this
see
going
that?
on? Ah, there's a little snake on there.
Yeah. It's pretty badass.
Mhm.
So
I know if I was in Alley and some guy walked up to me with that, I probably wouldn't be able to see him holding it because it's so small.
that's the whole part. That's the whole point. It's the element of surprise. It's the element of surprise. So
Dude, what does Fang 1 look like?
it's probably smaller. Well, thank you all so much for watching, listening to this episode of the Poorly Edited Podcast. We hope you enjoyed. We worked very hard on this episode, and we hope that the dissenting opinions of the viewers that we've been having lately, we hope that we've been able to, help and live up a little more to your expectations in terms of quality for the Poorly Edited Podcast. So thank you so much for watching and listening. Check us out on everything streaming, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Deezer, whatever that is. And subscribe on YouTube if you want to see the video versions of the podcast that we work very hard on. Stay safe out there. Zach, play us out.